Hello, hello! I decided to make a small bid on the Kagero, a ship that I actually consider very, very strong, and it's probably one of my favorite ships at high tier at the moment, because it's so much fun to play. Now, whenever I mention that I consider this a very strong ship, I always get a bunch of downvotes on Reddit and people telling me how it's worse than the Fubuki and how it's so weak and blah 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 blah. And I just think people are doing it wrong. Honestly, I can't think of any other reason, because the Kagero is most certainly not a weak ship. Now, if you look at my XP, I got 212k, so I'm actually only 10k XP away from unlocking the Shimakaze XP-wise. It's gonna take me a lot longer actually, because I'm broke and I need to unlock the rune first, so it's probably gonna take me several weeks until I have the money to actually buy it. But this is basically to point out that yes, I've been playing the Kagero quite a bit, and I've been enjoying every single moment. And it's by no means a bad ship, absolutely not. The reason I consider the Kagero to be so strong is its exceptional concealment. And this is basically the reason, this is why I call this vid the Ghost of T9, because that's exactly what you are a ghost. I thought this game was a perfect example to showcase it. It's a T10 game. There's a bunch of high tier ships in this game, and I'm alone against 3 DDs on the enemy team, and we have 3 Yamatos, so I very much basically have to neutralize these, because if I don't, then they will basically ruin our battleships completely. So what I'm against, what, a Benson, a Kagero, and I think it was a Fubuki. Yeah, Benson, Kagero, Fubuki. And people have been saying that the Fubuki is better and so forth, but whatever. I'm gonna show you how incredibly strong this Kagero is thanks to the concealment. I mean, how you play. Here is here. They have Montanas, Yamatos. It's basically a T8 to T10 game, which is pretty much the usual bracket you'll end up in as a T9 DD. Now, your concealment is amazing. When you have the captain perk, which should be a heavy priority for you to get as soon as possible, the detection, the concealment perk, and you have the armor, and you have the upgrade, your concealment is 5.5 kilometers. And that is better than any other concealment of any other DD. You can even detect Shimakazes before they detect you. You are basically the god of detection. And what this means is, I can safely park my ship right here, as I'm doing now, spot all the enemy ships, cap this point, and no one can surprise me. Because I will see all their DDs long before they see me. There's no risk, absolutely no risk. They literally have no chance of ambushing me. I even asked some cruisers to aim some guns this way in case they come fighting, because it'll be some free DD kills basically if they try to fight me. They can't fight me. Very easy, very simple camp. I start moving away. I'm gonna go cap the next point, because you get a bunch of XP and money for capping in 0.5.1, which is one of the reasons why this ship is so incredibly strong in this patch, is because you are the ultimate capper. You're the ultimate zone controller. No one else is as good as controlling these caps as you are. Okay, look, Benson showed up. I detected him far before he detected me. He has no idea I'm here. He just sees a brief detection flashes, assuming he has the perk like every DD should. Okay, so he started capping it. Fair enough. Now what do? I'll calmly reverse. Back into the point. Make sure I get vision of this. Here we go. Zoom in, use the F2 command to tell people to focus him. I'll just sit here and watch him for a bit. Now he's shitting himself. He knows he's detected, but he has no idea what's detecting him. No, he can't see anyone near him. He's wondering where the hell it's coming from. I hit the Montana once. Woo! What, this guy? And now I decide, okay, looks like no one's going to shoot him. I can't let him cap this point for free. So I unload the broadside and I pop full speed. There we go. Took down the capping a notch again. And another broadside. And now I'm already in cover. Nice, I got another 3 hits on him and I completely reset the cap. He tried to shoot me back, but I'm already in cover. By the time he had time to shoot back, I had shot 2 volleys and gotten into safety. The only time he sees me is when I shoot at him, because my concealment is superior. This is a Benson. This is like supposed to be the Destroyer Hunter, the anti-DD. But he's completely helpless against me. If he pushes up, well, you see how I got like 3 fucking Yamatos behind me. I doubt he wants to push up into that firepower. He'll get completely wrecked. Okay, he's trying to cap it again. I once again retreat. Yeah, I'm not detected. And here we go again. Another few broadsides at him. Just before he got the cap, I once again reset it. Now he's angling his guns. He's getting his aim down. He's got his guns. He's got his broadside ready. He's starting to fire. And see you, mate. I'm already back in cover. And I'm undetected. Do you understand how incredibly frustrating this must be for this Benson? He's trying so hard to get this cap, but he's lost over half his HP, and he hasn't achieved anything. Nothing at all. He's basically just gotten his ass kicked over and over and over again. Now at this point I'm a bit wary to repeat this 3 times, because 1, there's a smoke, and 2, there's the possibility of torps. So I'm ready to very quickly reverse my speed if I hear that. Yep, up, there we go. Ooh, that one torp looks very, very close. I activate my speed boost right away. And I turn hard left to swing my ship around, and I managed to avoid it. But that was a bit too close for comfort. That's what you get for doing the same thing 3 times. That torp bought him the time to cap the point now. So he's finally managed to secure this cap. But it's not like he can stop me. I can just go in there and detect it again. Or cap it again and detect him if he tries to contest me. This is one of the reasons why you should play the Kagero with ships behind you, with ships covering you, because you detect all the enemy DDs before they detect you, every single time. So you are a carrier basically, or a carrier scout plane for the enemy DDs. They can detect you, but they have a hard time doing it, because you will obviously evade them. And every single fight you start with a DD, you always get the opening volley. You always get the first volley that end. You have the chance to break their modules, force their repair on cooldown, all this stuff. Now we saw him leave, so once again I'm moving in to cap the point. And this Benson is obviously frustrated. He worked so goddamn hard to finally capture this point, and as soon as he leaves, I just go back in and cap it again. And he's gotten some XP out of it, because he got a full cap, but he hasn't really achieved anything for his team. Whereas I've been basically locking him completely down. Now his smoke has run out, so this time I could actually stay and fight him because he has no more escapes and he's so low HP that I can actually take him in a 1v1 comfortably. Because USDDs are superior at long fights, basically when you duel it out for a long time, because then their rate of fire completely overwhelms you. But this short back and forth shooting, as I've been doing here, like a couple of broadsides and then you run, the Japanese DDs are actually very competitive. So once again, I'm sitting here calmly lining up my shot. Oh, now I decide to take the shot finally. Now he's turning his guns again, and he's like, oh shit, but I already have all the support because I've been detecting him for my team. And he's basically being completely shot on, and there's nothing he can do. He hasn't fired a shot at me yet. Oh well, he has fired shots at me, but they've always been when I've gotten into cover and safety. Once again, I'm undetected, I've killed him. That was a US-T8 DD that just got completely destroyed by me. And he had absolutely no counterplay options besides to run. He should have just... I would have pushed him out at B. That's the thing, that was his only option, to flee from me. And this is why the Kagero is so goddamn strong. And I feel like a lot of people don't understand this concept of the power of concealment, of stealth. When you have the advantage in concealment, you have a massive advantage in every single fight, in every single engagement. You always get to, especially if you fight other Japanese DDs, or even Soviet ones, even though that's a very sketchy fight to take, you always have the advantage of having your ship lined up perfectly, all your turrets turned perfectly, whereas he gets caught with his pants down, suddenly just taking a bunch of damage, and he has to start aligning and trying to save himself, repair all the shit you broke. Like, you usually get off 2 volleys before they can even start returning fire, and 2 volleys in a DD versus DD battle is usually huge. So it's a massive advantage, which makes the ship so much stronger. I'm gonna smoke up here, just gonna help this Baltimore out a bit. I don't know if this repair is on cooldown or not. Depends on it. Okay, so he still had his repair up. So all I basically want to do at this point is get 1 or 2 more fires on him. And then I know he's fucked. He can't really push up because once again I have a battleship behind me. I don't know if you noticed it, but if you kept an eye on the minimap, we briefly detected a DD north of me. That's why you always keep an eye on the minimap. I wonder how many of you people noticed it without going backwards in this YouTube clip and realizing that there's a DD there. But that's something you always have to keep an eye at, especially when you engage in offensive smokes. What's going on around you. I reverse a bit deeper into my smoke. The idea here with reversing deeper into my smoke is that if he's right outside, now when I speed up, I have more time to gain speed before I actually pop out of the smoke. So by reversing deeper into my smoke, I get more speed when I actually do pop out. If you just go straight ahead and you haven't reversed at all, then you pop out at like a quarter speed, which can be painful. And I also have time to turn my ship around, get my guns angled. So now when I pop out of smoke at full speed, I'm already very ready for any fight here. I'm basically prepared. Now he wasn't here, but considering my battleship is north, I'm gonna scout a bit, because I think he'll be going for my battleship. And of course, they had 3 DDs, as I said, and I'm the only DD. So I need to make sure in this game that I counter them, because I don't need to go around killing, doing damage, because we have the Yamatos for that. They will do all the damage in the world. What I need to do is make sure they stay alive so we win the game. Ah, here we go. I detected him. He's not using the captain perk. He's detected. Once again, I get the opening volley. His guns are aimed all over the place. I already set a fire on him. Now he's turning his guns, trying to get the angles right. I already get the second volley off. Now he's got 1 turret turned my way. And I got a second fire on him, this time with his repair on cooldown. Now he's got 2 turrets. Now he's got all his turrets finally turned my way. That's how long it took for another Kagero to basically engage me in combat. And his engine is broken, he's burning, basically his ship is shitting the bed here. I'm repairing this fire, because why the fuck not? Lets me maneuver better and keep up with him. I got a bit lucky with the second fire, but whatever, this battle is already over. It was decided from the get-go. And that's another DD then. That's 2 destroyers I've now taken out, countered, and protected my battleships.
Engine boost activated.
Now, time to speed up. I could go cap D, but no point really. I'd rather go help my team down at A. Now, the thing with fire you have to remember is that it increases your detectability, but I think it was like 2 kilometers on a DD. I'm not 100% certain about that value, but I think it was something like that. So, you always gotta be extra careful when you got a fire burning on you. And if you're trying to escape, you're trying to flee, and you're just about the edge of being undetected, then just repair your fire to get out. Oh, I'm detected. That means, see, this time the Fubuki detected me before I detected him. He had the advantage. But my fire disappeared, so now I'm undetected. Of course, I realized it too late, but I already have my guns turned now. And he's in such an awkward spot. He's between the Atago and between the Montana, and he's detected by me. And he's smoked up. I'm waiting for him to fire. I want him to fire. That's what I'm waiting for. Yes, he fired. As soon as he fires, I smoke up. Because when he fires, you get a 4 kilometer debuff that increases your detection. So now I know that all these other ships around me can detect him, because I prompted him to fire. And he's moved out of his smoke, whereas I have stopped in my smoke and I'm using it as an offensive smoke. So I basically completely outplayed him. I baited the shot from him. He couldn't use an offensive smoke because there was no one around who could detect me, because my concealment is too good. And basically he had no backup, whereas I was moving with my fleet, so I could use an offensive smoke. So what I did there was basically I shot at him until he finally took the bait and shot back when he saw my low HP. As soon as he saw my low HP, I dropped my speed and I popped an offensive smoke, and I used the ships around me to detect him, because, as I said, when you fire, 20-second debuff that increases your detection. So that completely basically outplayed him, and now I've gotten all 3 of the enemy DDs killed, and all 3 of my Yamatos are still alive. So, mission fucking accomplished. Now, there doesn't really happen much in this game after this. It basically, this Montana runs like a chicken, and I try to run all the way to catch up and save the game. When it does finally end though, we get to this favorite scoreboard screen, and here we see 10,000 XP was the first win of the day with 1.5 modifier, but you see my scoreboard XP, almost 3.4k. I got almost 600k money. I actually use Zulu flags on my Kagero nowadays because it gives me so much money because I do this all the time. So it's like my main cash cow. The damage isn't impressive, but we weren't even going for damage this game. We were going for neutralizing DDs. Now people might think, oh well, this was a fluke, this one game. So whatever, let's take another example. Here we have another game on Hotspot. I've asked some cruisers to give me some support since I'm gonna go Cap C. They have the Polish destroyer, that's a very good gun-based DD. And some other DDs I can't remember off the top of my head right now. But I'm going straight for C. I'm gonna skirt the very outer edges because once again I want to be able to use my detection to my advantage. You probably notice I'm saying detection a lot in this game because that is one of the things when people talk about comparing DDs, they go, oh, but the Fubuki has one more torp and oh, this ship is faster and blah 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 blah, and none of them ever mention how fucking incredibly powerful detection is when it comes to DDs. It's such an important aspect of the ship itself. It gives you such huge advantages in every single fight, in every single engagement, and for some reason people just refuse to acknowledge the power it has. I don't know, it blows my mind. Once again, I just parked my ship here. I'm constantly capping, that means I know there's no DDs inside the cap, and basically I'm just detecting for my team and slowly capping this point for some nice XP. Oh, here we go. There's a Polish DD going for the cap, the B. I'm not shooting, I'm not doing anything besides detecting him. I'm keeping slow speed. I got a cruiser, if you look north on the minimap, I had a cruiser moving in to help. The Hatsaru obviously can't compete, so the Hatsaru will be pushed away. He's taking damage now, so he has to flee. But I'm not gonna go fight him, because he has better guns than me. He's a gunship, just like the Benson. Oh, and there's a Kagero there as well. So I would be completely outnumbered. So I don't use my gunpowder, I don't use my torpedoes, I use my detection. I slow down, I carefully angle my ship, and I keep both of them detected. That's the only thing I do, I spot them for my team. Now my cruiser behind me is obviously thinking it's fucking Christmas. You can see he's starting to shoot now. He's like, hooray, DDs detected, free to fire. These DDs really want to push in and cap me, but they can't, because I'm here, I'm detecting them. There's nothing they can do. Now this Pensacola, he thinks he's fairly safe because there's two DDs in front of him. So he doesn't think there's any dangers here, he just wants to push up and fight this other cruiser. Because they can't see me. Like I'm 5.7 kilometers, I'm detecting this Kagero. He's trying to push in and cap the zone, but he can't. There's no because I'm detecting him, and there's a goddamn cruiser behind me who's basically shitting on him if he shows himself. Now this Pensacola is about to get caught with his pants completely down, because once again, they see that there's someone inside B, but they can't fucking see him, and they are so baffled. He probably thinks I'm on the other side of this B, but instead I was right next to him, and bam, he got completely deleted. And the torpedoes on the ship are incredible, they're very fast, they hit very hard. Yes, he only has 2x4 of them, but they're that strong. Yeah, I secured the cap, not by shooting, not by firing any torps at the DDs, simply by detecting them for my cruiser. And that's another cap secured for my team. Now the Kagero wants to push in and cap this again, but I'm not going to let him. Nope, sorry mate. This time I even decided to open fire on him because everyone else is so far away and I got this island I can slip behind. I managed to damage his torpedo tubes, which was fantastic, because if you damage them you force them on reload. And now I'm slipping behind this island. That Bliskovic is about to... I have no idea if I pronounced this correctly, by the way, sorry to all the Polish people that I just offended. Yeah, he's behind the island, and I'm undetected again. And I lost what? Maybe 2.5k, but I did a ton of damage to the Kagero, and I forced his torpedoes on cooldown, whereas I fired mine off on the Iowa. And now I'm basically going to continue my little capping trend here, and I'm continuing all the way to A. I know that the Polish DD is around here, but I don't fear him. I mean, yes, he has the gun advantage. Yes, in a straight up 1v1 he could beat me, but I'm not gonna fight him in a straight up 1v1. I'm a Japanese destroyer. I have a very significant advantage in detection, and that's the one advantage I will be abusing all the time. That's what you should do. You shouldn't engage in like these foolish straight up fights if you know the other guy has the advantage. Always, always use your ship's advantages to your advantage. I see so many people who don't understand this. They try to create these advantages out of nowhere. Got some good hits on the Iowa, about what, 60,000 damage. Always nice. In this game I'm not as much needed on constant DD protection, so I'm able to land some more torps on the enemies. Once again, this cruiser is trying to detect someone here and basically protect this camp. But he can't see me. He's 7 kilometers away. That's way far away. And this is a scout spotting plane. He can't see me either because, once again, my ridiculous detection is so strong. And man, that's another cap secured. That's 3 solo. I've kept every single point on the map. And the only time I've taken any damage is when I myself open fire on someone else. And people tell me that this is a weak ship, that this is like a bad DD. And I get downvoted when I say this is a strong goddamn destroyer. I really don't understand what people are thinking. I'm trying to pick a good torpedo target here. I really want to torp this Amagi. But this Uzumo is heading right in our crossfire. So that's why I'm very skeptical about this torp. I'll make sure to warn him. Sure to give him a heads up. Hopefully he will realize to not make any turns. I'm always a bit skeptical about those turns because it's always, if you torp someone, like if those torps would have hit that Izuma, like if suddenly turn left and the torps would have hit him, it would have been my fault. Because you should never ever torp when there's friendlies between you and the target. It's always your fault. I see people trying to justify this shit always by saying, oh, but you shouldn't have turned into them, you shouldn't, blah blah blah. When you're fighting someone else, you never ever expect friendly torps from behind. You don't even look that way. You rarely pay attention, and when you get the torpedo warning, you assume it's safe most of the time, and by the time you check, you usually, well, I usually check quite often, but the average player won't check as often, and they're often caught with their pants down in that situation. So always try to avoid torping when there's friendlies between you and the enemy. I think this Colorado slowed down so much, I don't know if I'm gonna land any torps. Not sure what's happening with the wake, they seem to be bugged. Everything with this 0.5.1 patch seems to have bugged a bunch of like graphics, like the smoke plumes are all over the place, those torpedo wakes seem to disappear whenever they feel like it. It's pretty fucking sketchy. Especially annoying when you're trying to look at the torpedo and determine which direction it's going based on like the water jet behind it. And then the game doesn't even fucking render them, and you're just sitting there scratching your head, hoping you predict the right way they're going. Now I did land one hit. It wasn't on him though, not the Colorado. It was someone else behind him took 2 hits, some other battleship. I totally meant to do that. It wasn't luck. Now once again, I'm 6.5 kilometers away. I'm only firing one volley because at this range, even if he makes adjustments, these torps are so strong and I'm so close to him that there's not much you can do. Just in case I smoke up here and basically open fire on him. It's, as I said, it's too late for him at this point. You can maybe make some huge emergency turns, but it's not really gonna save him. My torps are too good. Too close, basically, and yeah, he's gone. Already speeding up, abandoning my smoke because he's dead. Only needed one hit, because that's how much damage these torps do. But they're totally weak, and this ship is totally not strong. Anyway, from this point on, there's not really much to show. I'm not gonna go the whole 10 minutes since I'm doing 2 games in this. But basically, all my battleships end up dying, and I try to salvage the game, but it turns out to shit and we end up losing. And even though this is a lost game, I thought it was a good example of the other way you can use your detection, not just to pick fights, but just to spot for your team. Now the game actually ends right here. You can see one of our battleships humping away, and once again you can see my money, 5.7k. The XP tells a story, pretty obvious story here. Like, this is a defeat, and I get almost 5k XP and almost 600k money. My damage is like 140k or something. But that is in my opinion. That is why I consider the Kagero a very strong ship. And anyone who disagrees with me, well, honestly, I just think you're wrong.